Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stock the Shocks campaign, excuse me, allergies, or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article. Share on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever actually does see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1 will be discussed places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use your headphones. Trigger warning 2. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is very much advised, alright? Alright, to the FDA's response. The FDA disagrees. Section 1006 of the FDNC Act states that nothing in this act shall be construed to limit or interfere with the authority of a healthcare practitioner to prescribe or administer any legally marketed device to a patient for any condition or disease within a legitimate healthcare practitioner-patient relationship. Here's the thing, kids. The GED device, as we all know, is not legally marketed. You want to know why? Because the current iteration of the GED device, as a matter of fact, all iterations of the GED device, except for the one that was approved in 1991 by the FDA, has not been approved by any medical board of any kind whatsoever. In fact, we know that the JRC has been playing cat and mouse with the FDA for decades in regards to getting proper authority to use said device. It has not been monitored, scrutinized, or studied by any panel of any kind at any point in time since the original decision of 1991. We know this because the FDA has said it multiple times and it has been mentioned through a numerous amount of paperwork that we have already gone over on this channel. So the fact of the matter is, how they're even getting away with using it and nobody's doing anything about it is still beyond me. Well, maybe not really. Money talks, doesn't it? This makes clear, for example, that a doctor may prescribe an approved device for a use different from those for which it had been approved. It does not, however, in any way limit the FDA's ability to determine which devices can be legally marketed and the uses for which they can be legally marketed. In other words, if you are trying to use the device in a way that the FDA has strictly said you cannot do, you cannot use, but that's interfering with practice of medicine. Do not make me break out the lobotomy argument again. I'm tired, folks. I already had to live with the horrible information I received yesterday that we have goddamn Andrew Wakefield producing movies about his anti-vax stupidity that the MAGA morons are looking up like gospel. Don't get me started on that. You have no idea. I did not even realize I had any faith in humanity left to lose. But apparently I was wrong. We'll get into Andrew Wakefield in detail someday. And Jenny McCarthy. It's going to derail this entire video. Let me get back to the point. Indeed, the next sentence of section 1006, not cited by these commoners, explains that this section shall not limit any existing authority of the Secretary to establish and enforce restrictions on the sale or distribution or in the labeling of device that are part of the determination of substantial equivalence, established as a condition of approval or issued through regulations. Why am I not surprised that the JRC is not giving the full context? Anybody surprised? Anyone? Crickets, right? Of course they wouldn't. They want to continue to do whatever the hell they want to us with impunity and continue to make money off of our pain and suffering forever. Banning ESDs for SIB or AB would not violate Section 1006 of the FD&C Act or be inconsistent with its general approach toward the practice of medicine. In other words, we are still the ultimate deciding body. That little section you read out of context. And it doesn't work here. Apparently, the DC Circuit Supreme Court did not agree. So again, FDA, this is why I bring up the fact once more that had you just named the actual device in question, we wouldn't be wasting so many poor innocent trees to make these arguments. Because there would have been no need. Everybody would be on the same page. You know? Saying. Pursuant to this ban, ESDs for SIB or AB, such as the GED device, finally we fucking named the device! Finally! Good God, FDA, did that hurt? Did that hurt? The GED device should have been the only device named throughout the entirety of this document. The GED device is the device up for debate here. And again, it would have even been an argument because it's only used for a singular purpose. There would need to be no blanket ban because there's no blanket uses. Let me say it again for the kids in the back. There would be no need for a blanket ban in regards to the GED because it is not used for blanketed purposes. They're manufactured and used at JRC, are adulterated under Section 508 of the FD&C Act, and thus are not legally marketed devices. Thank you! Oh crap, thank you. That's so good it must be fattening. I'm going to read it again. The adulterated under Section 501G of the FD&C Act and thus are not legally marketed devices. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can we please get a federal investigation to deep dive into the JRC? We've only been asking for the last 4 decades. The FDA's issuing of this rule in no way conflicts with the section of 1006 of the FD&C Act or the FDA's long-standing position regarding the practice of medicine. I'm finally glad that somewhere we had the balls to name the device in question. The problem is, it should have been the only device mentioned throughout the entirety of this document. The fact that it got tagged on as a response to a comment is how we ended up shooting ourselves in the foot. The GE device should have been the only device in discussion here. Point blank, period. It should have been hammered on the fact that it is not at all a legally marketed device. It should have been hammered home that there is no blanketed uses, therefore there is no need for a blanketed ban. But here we are, still fighting the same damn fight in 2024. We're going to go ahead and close on that kind of depressing note, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please, folks, you know the drill. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.